With its new leader in place, the Conservative Party is gearing up for the next race, the 2019 federal election. This past weekend also marks the end in federal politics for former Interim Party leader Rona Ambrose. She joins us now to discuss what's next for the party and for herself. Rona, thank you for joining us. So let's start with who Andrew Scheer is, because he is being pitched as Stephen Harper 2.0. Is that how you see him?
Well, I think in as much as he's also someone that cares about families and is going to be someone who is going to look for policies that are going to be fiscally prudent, and he's looking to lower taxation for businesses. Yes, absolutely. But Andrew Scheer is his own person. I think what you'll see from Andrew Scheer is reaching out to a lot of Canadians across this country. He's, a 38-year-old guy with 5 little kids. And he really wants to make this a better country for families and for small business owners. And he's from Saskatchewan, so he's in the camp of Brad Wall, who believes that the Liberal federal government should not be imposing a carbon tax on provinces. And so he's actually said on Saturday night he's going to, if elected one day Prime Minister, he will actually repeal that and not impose a carbon tax on any of the provinces should they not want to do that. So I think what you're going to see from Andrew Scheer is the same kind of economic policies that you've seen from the Conservative Party when I was there, when Stephen Harper was there. It's really all about making life more affordable for Canadian families and also for Canadian business owners.
How do you feel about a social conservative leading your party?
Well, Andrew I thought he answered those questions well. He understands the need to respect all parts of our party, but he also has said very clearly that he expects that if people bring things forward, they have to be things that unite the party, not divide the party. And so he's been very clear about that, and I think that's a really important message.
Do you think, I know you're going to say yes, but I'll ask the question anyway, do you think he will be as effective a critic of Justin Trudeau and the Liberals as you have been?
We're two completely different people, so of course I'm going to say yes, because I think what he has behind him, and what I had too, was a really phenomenal team. He's got a great group of people that work very hard, and everyone is rallying behind him. He's very strong. He was a House leader for a while. He knows Parliament very, very well. He's also very passionate, committed, and the thing that people like about Andrew is he's also affable. He's got a great sense of humor. He uses it a lot, and he's just a really down-to-earth, nice guy. I think Canadians are going to come to know him, and they're going to like him as much as I do, and those of, he's liked on all sides of the House from people from all parties. He's well respected. He's been an MP for a long time, even though he's only 38. But now he's leading a party. It's a big challenge, and I think he's up for it. And I know that he feels really strongly about bringing conservative policies to the forefront at a time when our economy is struggling and when families and business owners are really looking for those common sense ideas for our economy.
So how does a nice guy like him, as you call him, effectively how does he beat Justin Trudeau and the Liberals in 2019? What is the strategy shift we're going to see?
Well, look, it's not really about a shift. It's about going out and earning the confidence of Canadians, one by one, earning those votes and talking about the things that matter to them. He made the point today in his speech. I thought it was really great. He said we're going to be worried about the people that drive minivans and own the corner stores and or own small businesses, and the people that are regular, hardworking people out there that feel like maybe Justin Trudeau's priorities are not really the priorities that they have for their families. So I think he's got his heart in the right place. He's a smart guy, and he's going to bring forward good ideas about lower taxation, balancing the budget. This is, I think, a really good message for the markets that we have a leader in place now that's permanent, that is going to have those kinds of policies going into the next election. And look, we need a good opposition to a party, a Liberal Party, which has become more left of center on economic policies. It's good for the country to have those debates. And look, it matters because we're seeing softening in our economy, and we're worried about that obviously across the board.
So of the host of issues on the table, where would you say Justin Trudeau is weakest? How can Scheer dent him?
Well, it's not for me to say, but but I think, look, writ large, the Liberals are just weak on the economy because but let's remember, they didn't get elected on economic policy. They got elected on a lot of social policy, which is also important. But, you know, we as Conservatives always remind ourselves and Canadians that you can't pay for our social infrastructure that we all value in this country so well if we don't have a good, solid economic platform to make that happen. So when you're doing things like bringing in carbon taxes and raising taxes on small business owners, putting payroll taxes on small business owners so that they can't hire more young people anymore, all of that speaks to you know, a government that isn't necessarily focused on common sense economic policies that are going to generate revenue that we need to actually pay for these social programs. So I think, you know, it's good to have a permanent leader in place now that's going to make the economy, his priority, and the Conservative Party up against a Liberal government that is more focused on left-wing social policies and has not, I don't think, put in place a good economic action plan that will see us through, you know, generating jobs and giving that confidence to the investment community, to the markets, to the small business owner out there that we're headed in the right direction.
Rona, I don't have much time left with you, unfortunately, but I do want to ask how you would rate Justin Trudeau on Nafta, because he is getting, I would say overall, fairly good reviews in walking this very fine line with the Trump administration.
You know what, look, I agree. I think that this is a very difficult issue to deal with in any event, but we also have a president in the White House that is difficult to predict. And I think the important thing right now is for, you know, everyone to work together, the private sector, all parties in the House. You know, as you know, I've been working, you know, being helpful to the Prime Minister and to the government on this issue, and we have to continue to do that because at the end of the day, you know, this is about Canada's best interests right across the board. Everyone needs to be working on the same team. But, you know, negotiations will start in the next couple of months, but we know that that clock is now ticking, and it's time for everybody to get as engaged as possible, but particularly the private sector. I think, you know, look, it's not an easy issue to deal with when you're up against an administration like the one that we are right now, but we've got good negotiators, we've got a good team of people, and I think we have to just keep top of mind that Canada comes first.
And Rona, I just have half a minute left with you. I know you're headed to the Wilson Center in Washington, D.C., where you'll be working with Jane Harman. Tell me how you plan to steer policy from there, from D.C.
Well, I'll be also here in Canada, obviously, but I think it's important to work in the environment of the Nafta renegotiations and the economic competitiveness issues, whether it's on energy or taxation policy. There's a lot to do on the policy areas impacting Canada-U.S. relations. And I really look forward to working with not just Jane, but Laura Dawson at the Wilson Institute. And, you know, I've always been a policy wonk. This is an area, as I start my post-partisan life, that I want to continue to work in policy areas that affect this great country. And I think that it's a wonderful opportunity to do the Global Fellowship at the Wilson Center because they've got an incredible group of Americans and Canadians working together on just these issues.